Ready. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Bismillah. My name is Christian, and I'm a web developer and digital marketing consultant who specializes in building WordPress websites for businesses like yours. My most recent presentations have been about my story, why I choose WordPress, and what the future of tech means for your business. However, today I want to focus on WordPress and show you a simple but powerful way to make your website more organized, professional, and easy to manage, even if you're not a techie. So by the end of this talk, you'll understand the difference between pages and posts and what a custom post type is and how it can help your website grow. So WordPress is an easy-to-use platform for building websites. Originally, it was created for blogging, and it now powers all kinds of sites, from personal blogs to major business and e-commerce websites. You can customize your site with thousands of free plugins and themes, making it flexible for nearly any purpose. I'll put some interesting statistics about WordPress down the side, so you can see that WordPress is used by about 44% of all websites around the world. That's more than 500 million WordPress websites. WordPress dominates the CMS market with a 62% share. It powers more than a third of all online stores, and each month, 409 people view 20 billion WordPress pages, and users publish 70 million new posts. But what is a post in WordPress? And this will bring me on to my next slide. But before that, just to summarize, WordPress is the world's most popular website builder because it's simple, powerful, and endlessly adaptable. So WordPress is fundamentally a combination of posts and pages, which are its two primary content types. So with that in mind, you can see an example of a page from my website on the left of this slide. It has static information. It's not listed by date. It can often be found in the navigation menu. Typical examples of a WordPress page are things like the home page, the about page, or a contact page. And these are pages which are rarely updated or changed. However, posts are a little different, as they are usually sorted by date. They're often timestamped, don't appear in the navigation menu, are regularly updated, and usually have an author highlighted. WordPress posts are often blog articles, updates, or news, and they appear in a feed. So you can see with the screenshot from our website on the left, there's a featured image for this article on my website. There's a title below it. Then there's a breadcrumb which shows that it's categorized, and the category for this article is digital marketing, and it's timestamped below that. So they're also good for being shared across social media platforms. So it's useful to know that posts can be kept in an archive, which is normally in order of most recently posted. These archive pages are often called blog or articles, and even sometimes they're just called latest news or recent updates. So these archive pages are incredibly useful as they enable users to quickly find posts of interest. And they can do this by viewing the archive by author, category, tag, month, and even more. But back to the point of this presentation, what is a custom post type and how can this help my business? Well, let's say for a moment you're a real estate agency and you would like all of your property listings organized in an archive. Every property doesn't warrant a page, but it would be perfect for a post. However, the default post in WordPress only has certain fields, which I mentioned before, which was like the featured image, the author, the title, and text content. And these fields are chosen this way because they're originally created for articles. And that isn't very useful for a property listing. So while the title, image, and text content may be useful, wouldn't it be nice if each post was a property and that property could have specified fields such as price, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, the address and status, etc. So this is what custom post types enables us to do. The screenshot on the left is of a WordPress website I found on the internet, which is a great example of how custom post types can be used. This way you can create an archive of posts with those specified fields for each listing. So it enables users to filter the real estate listings by very useful fields. For instance, I can search the archive by looking at all 2-bedroom apartments for sale between £1 and £2 million in London. And when I find something I'm interested in, I simply click on that listing and it opens what is actually a post. So in that screenshot on the left, when you see the kind of little icons below, which is like shows the number of bedrooms, the number of living rooms, the number of bathrooms, and then it's got the price by the featured image and stuff. All those things will be like specified fields for that post, and each property, just to drive that point home, is literally a post. So when you click on it, it opens up its own kind of page, but it is, I know I just said page, but it is a person. Anyway, I hope that all made sense and that you learned something you didn't know about WordPress. I thought it might only be fair to now share some things that you might not know about myself. So I'm a 33-year-old from Sheffield who's completely addicted to travel. 7 years ago, I met my wife in the jungles of Borneo whilst volunteering with a charity called Rally International. My favorite travel experiences include hiking Acatenango in Guatemala, where we watched the volcano named Fuego erupt all night. You can see Volcano Fuego in the bottom left photo. My other favorite experiences is swimming with hammerhead sharks in the Galapagos and boarding down a volcano at 74 kilometers an hour on my 30th birthday in Nicaragua, which you can see in the top right photo. My absolute worst travel experience is probably when we both got dengue fever in Malaysia. Yeah, that really wasn't fun. But I've been operating freelance for the past 5 years, and in that time, my offering has continued to expand in accordance with how I can best serve my clients. So these services can be grouped into the following 4 categories: web development, consultancy, marketing automations, and content creation. So you can think of me as a whole digital marketing department for small and medium-sized businesses. Whilst I specialize in WordPress, I have also been helping my clients grow their social media accounts and client lists by automating their outreach campaigns. So if you have any needs in any of these fields, or if you wish to discuss anything in more detail, then please don't hesitate to contact me. And that draws an end to my presentation today, but does anyone have any questions?
Thanks, Christian. Stop sharing and see if anyone's got any questions. Mariella's first up.
There we go.
Mariella.
Yeah. Christian, which apply in the posts. Can we connect my YouTube channel? So can we put videos somehow?
You could embed YouTube videos into a post and stuff, but I wouldn't really advise having a specified one that is just for YouTube posts every time. So that's all it is. Like I say, you can put it on if it's relevant to what the content is there, but otherwise, I feel like you're just kind of recreating kind of what your YouTube channel is there for, and that's better fitted on the YouTube platform. But you can definitely have the content on there.
No, I understand, but if somebody goes to my website, I would like them to be able to access everything. So my other posts and mainly videos. I don't write much. I tend to do videos rather than read them blog. So I was wondering whether it's possible to use this video as a sort of blogs somehow.
Yeah, yeah. I would normally recommend as well, like just if you've got the connection, would always like link all your social media accounts, but then like you would rather them follow if it was the YouTube content that was good for them in that situation, you'd rather them follow that because then if you've got something new, if you post something new on YouTube, then they'll automatically next time they're on the YouTube app, they'll like see that you've posted something new and stuff. But on your website, it would be like a whole other kind of
Who's that?
yeah.
Okay, we'll see to that. Maybe we can put a picture and a link or something.
Yeah, definitely. It is worth kind of like keeping all the content in cohesion, shall we say, across different kind of channels.
Okay, thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Mariella.
Ian.
Very interesting the distinctions that were made there, Christian, and particularly the section on archives. And the archive seems to be a great way of getting some perspective on a particular theme or whatever. And the housing example is very pertinent for what I'm doing with my dad's house at the moment. But for some reason, sometimes in some searches, you sort of go down one of those, I'm almost going to call them rabbit holes, say a particular property, and you see the details of a property. But I'm just trying to think, is there a mechanism to try and see the archive? Oh God, what is it? A post or a page? I don't know. CPT you called it, didn't you? So because somehow I seem to whiz past the archive and go into the detail. I don't know, but I look at recipes, for example, and it's exactly the same thing. I go into a particular recipe, say, well, that's not quite what I want, and I have to go and see another. I don't know. Is there a trick to look at an archive on a website?
Yeah, it normally comes to like how well it's been organized in the first place. And that's what you've got the categories for and the taxonomy. So I didn't want to like go into too much terminology, but like the taxonomy, if you're familiar or not, is like the tags. So, while there might be like one category for something, so like for a recipe, it might be like that's a vegetarian recipe, but the tags might be, greens, it could be like, whole foods, it could be a quick, I don't know, 15-minute dish or something. So like lots of little keywords which sometimes marry across lots of different categories. And when they've been organized well like that, then in the navigation menu, when you'd be looking at recipes, there'd be a drop down and then it might just say vegetarian or, quick 15-minute plates and stuff like that. So that's where like every time you click on one of those pages, it'll open up the archive of those posts for that. So how well it gets organized and how well you navigate it, it comes down to like how it's been designed and done in the first place. So if you're struggling to find stuff and you think, where's this just archive page and stuff in the first place, then it's just probably not been done very well. But if you want a really good example of like, one is like BBC Good Food. That's not actually a WordPress website, but they've done pretty much the same thing of what you could do with custom recipes. And I'm really sorry, everyone, but like on one of my slides, I completely missed half of it because I just did something a little bit off script and I forgot to read the bottom half of that slide. But I'll just kind of add it now because you might have read it anyway on the side of that slide. But yeah, you could do one for like educational institutes could have courses as their custom post types and an archive of courses. There was another one for like food blogging and having recipes. There's another one where if you're just a small and medium-sized business, a custom post type could be team members, just so that everybody could get to know. It could be more relatable for the business, and you could click on each one. But yeah, thanks for jotting my memory as well. That I did literally miss half my script.
Can I ask a follow-up question, if I may?
Yes, you can do, yeah.
I'm wondering if some of it, when there's a little bit of frustration of looking for something, is also down to the fact of whether we're looking on our phone or on our computer. Some of the things which you've put out there, are they pertinent both for phones and computers? Or are there different presentations because of the confines of the screen that you have on the phone?
That's a good question, because the thing is that most things need to be done for phone now. Like, unless you're in a very specific kind of area of the internet, nearly everything is being checked on your phone. So that's like the kind of first place that it needs to be the most accessible. And obviously it's the one with the least screen space, so it needs to be very kind of efficiently organized. So there's good little tricks to doing it and stuff. And this is why, like, you need to kind of know what you're trying to design in the first place, and then you can map it out so that it'll look good on both screen widths and stuff. So it's called responsive design, where, like, you know, you go from desktop width to tablet width to phone width, and where does all the kind of different HTML elements, which is like the buttons and the drop menus and things like that, where do they stack? And yeah, there is a few different tricks and techniques to like how you can do that. But normally, if we're talking about, say, the post itself, then, like, for my article, for instance, as you scroll through, it's kind of like looks all the same, but maybe instead of the social media tags and the author on on the same line, it suddenly becomes they're on 2 lines. And so they stack together like that. And then sometimes maybe there's like a little drop tab where, you know, it'll then give you, say, the categories and stuff that you could list on. So there's lots of different techniques that you can do to kind of make it as accessible. But the trick is really making it intuitive, so that someone who's never been on this website before can just instantly tell, like, oh, if I want to click by categories, then I'll just click on this thing. And then, like, it's like, gives me the options there. So yeah, I mean, this is half the challenge with what they call UI and UX kind of design, which is user interface and user experience.
Fascinating. Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions? Well, Christian, I just think that was a brilliant presentation. It was so, for someone who's non-techie, it was so easy to follow, because sometimes some presentations, someone's a bit technical, it loses me, and I'm the least techie person in the world, but I found it a really good presentation to watch. So it was brilliant. Thanks very much, Christian.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to do it so, like, I'm only looking at little aspects of WordPress at a time. And then I always put all my presentations on my YouTube as well. So if you don't mind, in the chat, I'll just, in a few minutes, I'll just drop my YouTube channel.
If you send it to me and I'll put it on the email.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that'd
send
be
it to me and I'll put it up. Send it to me, like, direct to me, and I'll put it on the email notes when I send round to everyone. So I'm going to stop recording now,